Okay, so here is just a quick showing of edit points. So I'm just going to draw a simple square, and then I am going to turn the stroke on just so it's easier to see. I'm going to zoom in here, and then with my select arrow, I'm going to double click on it, and that brings up these little gray or boxes on the corners. So with a rectangle or a square, when it's drawn in the software, you have 4 edit points. If I were to draw a circle, well, this is going to be an oval, and then if I change it to a stroke so it's easier to see, if I double click, it also has 4 edit points. If you move your mouse over top of them, you can see the designation. It shows as smooth here. If I come over here to, and that one deleted it, I undid. If I come over here, you can see this one designates as a cusp. If I right click on it, it gives me different options to curve, round corner, or done. If I want to add an edit point, I can click on the line and add that edit point, and then I can move it, and that will change the shape of my object. I just wait for that cursor to change and then click on the line exactly and right click, insert node. That one gave me a second one. So I click on the line, right click, insert node, and that gives me another edit point. If I want to come in here, you can grab it, I can move it up. These little corners here, adjust how I would like it. If I move it in, it changes the angle that it is going to adjust at. If I move it out, you can create all kinds of shapes here just by adjusting those edit points. Now, if I delete all of this, if I open an SVG file, that is going to be different because it's going to be dependent on how the file was created. So if I choose import file and I choose that Santa face, I'm going to choose cut and next and apply. If I double click on it, I do not get edit points because it's a complex, made up of complex shapes and designs. If I right click on it, let's see if it'll work with ungroup. It's still all in a grouping. I can try and ungroup one more time. Nope, not an option. So if I right click on this and choose paths, and I choose to break the path, I want you to watch right here in this hat. When you break a path, what you're doing is you are breaking the design into pieces. So a compound path is these little whites of the eyes, the white on the hat. It is essentially a cutout of that shape in the design. So I'm going to break the path. Those fill in. You can see that. If I were to click off of this and move him, you'll see everything broke up into pieces. So I'm going to undo that. Now if I double click on this, you can see I get those edit points. So you could try to move the edit point. This shape, this SVG that you're working with specifically, is designed to have broken paths. Oh, I don't want to move that whole thing. So if I double click, I get those edit points. I can move it over top, and then what I would want to do is get out of edit point mode, choose select, select this here, hold my shift key down, and select the mustache, and then if I right click and choose weld, it's now going to cut that piece all as one piece. If I come over here to send, now it's not going to show up because I released that edit point. All those little pieces are a different part of the design now. Let me see if I zoom in here. We'll see if it worked. See, once it's overlapping, and then I can weld it. So it really just depends. playing with edit points, I would recommend drawing out squares and circles so that you can play around with that. Have fun!